Thank you for joining us for navigating the holidays with your child with disabilities. My name is Sarah Lehman. I'm a birth to five family sports specialist. I have four children. Two of my children have disabilities. Prior to this job, I was a special education teacher for 10 years, working with students with high communication, physical, and medical needs. Um, I stopped working to support my son through medical appointments and intervention services. I have a passion to support individuals and disabilities, help their families navigate supports and services.
Well, that was fast. My name's Melissa Suarez. I have three boys with IEPs. My youngest uses sign language or modified sign. I was a registered nurse for about 20 years. I'm also partially deaf and I live in Philadelphia, born and raised. I have like this intense interest for special education law, and I've got my master's in hospital administration, so the two aren't working for me. Um, I also believe that like it takes a full village to like raise our kids.
So Melissa's gonna talk about a little bit what we do at the Philadelphia Family Support Projects.
Systems navigation is our part of the lifetime that kind of focuses from zero until the end. What we do is we help families with intellectual disabilities and autisms navigate different processes and systems throughout the entire lifetime that they'll experience. We also have positive approaches to addressing loved ones' needs and troubleshooting challenges. Um, Families also can feel less isolated, more connected, more supported because we also offer peer support. Trauma-informed care, we have trauma-informed like inverse in services, including intro to trauma, frequent hospitalizations, like time management, different family dynamics, sibling dynamics, finding yourself again after you have a child with disabilities and experience some trauma. We have referrals and financial support available. We also have counseling services available. Um, there's tons, and we also offer peer support as well. And then there's me and Sarah,
Mhm.
and we are the 0 to 5 group. And what we do is we look for families who have children who are in that stage of like birth to diagnosis, and we help those families specifically. We help them through different ways, different peer support, workshops, support groups. We also focus a little bit on their different needs in that time frame. There's a lot of grief processing that has to happen when your child is diagnosed with a disability, and we help families get through that phase of their life.
Okay, so today we're gonna talk about tips to thrive during the holidays and how to practice self-care. So during the holiday seasons are not easy for children, and there's valid reasons. We have changes in routines and schedules. So you're no longer going to school every day. Events change your routines. There's a lot of new experiences. There's unknown environments. There's a lot of traveling. There's increased social events, interactions. There's increased sensory input. You have to wear fancy clothing, new foods, sparkling holiday lights. And there are family members who don't understand. So maybe if there's family members who don't want to accommodate, or they have like old-fashioned expectations of what or how children should be acting. So we're going to talk about tips to thrive during the holidays. So we're going to go through maintaining routines, introducing sensory input slowly, preparing your family of friends, preparing your child, being mindful of decorating, supporting open gifts, give yourself grace, and practicing self-care. So do you want to maintain routines?
Um, Most likely routines kind of just go to the wayside during the holidays. At least it does in our family. When it comes to celebrations, make sure you make every effort to plan around them with your existing routine. Try to maintain the same sleep schedule, meal schedule, if any other type of thing that you participate in, whether it's a sensory diet or something similar, then you want to try and keep that routine consistent and maintained throughout the holiday. Maintain your activities such as self-regulation, I mentioned the sensory diet. Some schedules, schedule some downtime because it's a very stimulating holiday season, and it can be really, really, really challenging on children who are not used to that much stimulation and need time to decompress every day.
Yeah. Most of us struggle with change and sorry, especially our children struggle with change. So introducing sensory input solely. Um, there's a lot of sight, sound, smells during the holidays, and it can be a lot for all of us. Um, so your child might need more support with sensory input during the holidays. Um, if you know an event might be too much for your kid, consider skipping it or modifying the activity this year. So maybe like you typically tradition you go to a parade. Maybe this year instead of going to parade, which is sensory overload, you watch it on TV. Check with your local community pages for sensory friendly activities. Bring preferred sensory tools, fidgets, noise canceling headphones, compression vests, sunglasses. So to help with adjustment of new sensory input, try to do like one sensory input at a time. Like so let's so just one sight at a time or smell. Um and also it helped to combine it with a familiar sensory input um to make it familiar with a new sensory input. Melissa.
I was going to say, we do that a lot in ABA with like parent. That's how we pair and get some other reinforcements for my son. Um, you want to prepare your family and friends. You do not have to give everyone the lowdown on your child's disability every single time. You can offer, and I suggest, ideas on how to support your child through the holidays and let them know what you need. Be able to not just attend, but to lessen the stress of your holiday altogether.
Okay. So to prepare your child for the holidays, talk to your child about what they will be experiencing. You can create personalized social stories or narratives that outline what to expect during the holidays. There's also a bunch you can get online. You can, but use simple language, visuals to illustrate the sequence of events, people they might meet, plan activities, and potential routine changes would be all helpful if you put that in your social story. Develop visual schedules or timetables using pictures or symbols representing the activities planned for or get for the gathering, role play or rehearse. Repetition helps familiarize children with expected behaviors, so role playing and rehearsing often would be helpful. When possible, visit location where gathering will take place beforehand. Preparing the location before helps the child become familiar with the environment, reduce anxiety, and how to relate to new surroundings. Equip your child with communication tools and strategy that are comfortable with. So if they have a um, low tech, like a communication board, a printable one, bring that. If they have a speech generating device, bring that with them. Um, Establish a sensory safe place. So have a place with it. If you're meeting, say you're having Thanksgiving at your mother's house, have a place within their house that is a place for your child to escape, that they can calm and regulate themselves. Um, and have this established before going into the event and talk to your child about it. Prepare for transitions and set expectations. So reinforce positive behaviors and provide clear expectations. And you're gonna have to tell them what would be appropriate for family gatherings because it's a little different expectations than typical gatherings. Um, Taking potential triggers into account when planning for holidays and traditions. So I know a trigger for us is clothing, so we just take that expectation out to wear fancy clothing. We would just wear the same clothes we wear um, all the time. Um, and this kind of will minimize inappropriate behaviors and meltdowns. Set time aside before gatherings to introduce or arrange those spending time with your children. So maybe again, you're looking pictures on your phone, or you have photo book and showing them people they're going to meet. When possible, offer your child choices so they feel that they're empowered, um, and they're making choices. Um, you can create a hand signal for your child so they can signal when they're becoming stressed. And I know a lot, kids in general, but trying different foods and eating are not the time to do that during the holidays. So bring comfort food for your child. So if your child likes chicken nuggets, then bring chicken nuggets or request that the family that's hosting the party bring chicken nuggets. Like this is not the time to work on trying new foods
Definitely not. I
during the
remember
holiday.
I remember calling my mom's house and being like, do we need to bring our own chicken nuggets or are you going to have chicken nuggets available? And here's the brand.
Plus, so having comfort food will create a sense of security for them. And then Melissa's gonna do being mindful for with decorating.
So being mindful of decorating, you're going to minimize the amount of decorating you want to actually put. Sometimes what we end up doing in our family is we just like don't have lights on for a different period of time because we like to light the ceiling and that becomes very, very bright throughout that holiday. And so we have like different times where we're just not going to have Christmas lights turned on during that time. And it's not only during the daytime. We have them out at night too. You can ask your kids about decorations. We are on a little bit of a different end of the spectrum where my son enjoys putting up decorations and lots of decorations. We have to get, he calls them blows, but like they're the inflatable things that come outside. We've got like 5 of them in one location on our front lawn. So we do things a little bit differently, but his brother struggles a lot with like sensory overload. So it's a real difficult balance. And what we usually end up doing is, like I said, we schedule sometimes that we allow for them to be turned off or not everything full blown at one time.
Yeah. Some of our kids don't like change, and you don't realize that the amount of change goes with decorating because you're like moving furniture. So this could be really challenging for them. So just telling them what to expect is helpful.
I mean, I always ask my son to like, can I count on you to tell me what's going on when you're uncomfortable? And that's really changed. I mean, they're a little bit older, they're 12, so um but it's really been helpful as they've gotten older and grown up to like help them in like voice their own different concerns about it. So that's just something you might want to start training them for. Um, Gift giving is like one of the most exciting parts of the holiday, but for a lot of kids, it's um, challenging and it can mean that we need to be more flexible in our approach. It can often mean that we have a smoother experience if we're able to manage that. So first, allow your child to open gifts at their own pace, and even if it doesn't match the usual timeline that others might expect, take breaks between gifts that can help them fully engage and enjoy each present without being rushed or overwhelmed. You can try giving them time to explore each gift rather than expecting them to open everything all at once or one after the other right away. This approach not only respects their needs to the process, but also enhances their enjoyment of each item. And we do that behind, like all around the tree. Like we have one like one kid who's like opening them all. Like every single thing is open within like 30 seconds. Then we have another kid who like likes to marinate with his first gift. So it's kind of like up to each individual kid, and we have to try and find a way to manage all of those things. Remember to come prepared. If you've given a gift that needs assembly, charging, batteries, having it ready to go in advance can reduce the frustration and let your child jump right into enjoying it. And lastly, consider offering buying gifts yourself, especially if you have specific ideas or sensory friendly items in mind that might be a good fit. This way, your child receives something meaningful and enjoyable for them while also making gift giving easier for loved ones who may not be sure what works best for your family. So now that we've talked about that, we're going to talk about Providing gift giving recommendations or sharing your child's preferences with those who want to buy gifts for your children will allow them to play and enjoy. This way they can choose items that they're more likely to be a hit, and it takes the guesswork out for everybody, which causes a lot of anxiety around the holidays. Another helpful tip is to ask family members to unbox the toys before they wrap them. So it would be like assembling or putting in the batteries in one of your different child's gifts. Um, this way,
Sometimes like getting a toy out of a box is really hard. Like for adult taking them out, it takes so long and you have to wait. So sometimes just like taking the doll out of the box instead of spending the time to cut and untighten and untape every little piece that
yeah,
comes
I
with
can't
the
tell you there's anything that's more killer of fun than like having this item and you're like, we don't have that battery here today.
toy.
What? This is everything, you know. At least it was for me growing up. If your child's not very interested in opening new and unfamiliar presents, try wrapping them up in their favorite toys. Try wrapping up some of their favorite toys, their actual toys that they already own instead. Sometimes the comfort of unwrapping something that's familiar or enticing can help them be motivated to open the other things.
Now we're talking about giving yourself grace. So you can keep it simple. Think about what matters most to you and your family, and give yourself permission to do those few things and rather trying to do everything. So you're doing like quality over quantity. Less is more. Sometimes the greatest and fondest memories come from quiet times with your loved ones. Um, so don't miss out the opportunity to treasure quiet moments instead of the hustle and bustle of the holidays. You don't have to go to every event you're invited to, or bring your child to every holiday event. It's okay to say no. And it's important to rest and enjoy the holidays. So don't worry about pleasing other people. You don't have to worry about pleasing other family members or friends. Like do what's best for you and your family.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough. That's like a really big life lesson that I just learned like within the past few years is like I'm not enjoying the holidays if I'm constantly like X, Y, or Z. And we just said like we're just gonna enjoy the holidays. And if it doesn't feel right, boom, it's on the X list.
Yeah, don't overschedule. So it's better to have one successful experience than like so many stressful, difficult experiences. Again, quality over quantity. Um, Make sure you plan activities where there's little to no expectation for your child to behave. And then recognize your limits, recognize when things are getting hard for you, and then take a step back. Don't be upset if your family traditions are different than other ones or how your family traditions now look different from when you grew up. Holidays are not the time to teach skills such as tolerating more food. So now we're gonna talk about practicing self-care. So as a caregiver, holiday preparations add to your workload. So you want to make sure you get enough sleep, eat well, exercise, plan time for yourself. Then we're going to talk about these are ways you can do self-care, deep breathing, affirmations, tapping, journaling, sensory aids, and meditating. So in stressful moments, it's helpful to take deep breaths, to center yourself. It's a simple way to calm your body, get in a comfortable position. You can inhale 4 and let your belly fill up with air, and then hold that breath for 4, and then exhale slowly for 4. As you feel your stomach go like lower, like closer to your back. Um, so this is helpful to manage stress or prevent stress.
My husband does that all the time. I feel like he does it almost in retaliation to like my expectation of him. Like, so as we start to wrap things up, I wanted to leave you with the reminder about self-affirmations. Self-affirmations in the holiday season can be challenging and joyful, especially when you're navigating it with your child who has unique learning needs. Taking time to affirm yourself can be a really powerful way to stay grounded, maintain a positive mindset. So some of those things would be like, I am doing my best and that's enough. My child is loved, supported, and valued exactly how they are. It's okay to set boundaries to protect my own energy and well-being. I trust myself to make the best decision for my family, and I'm allowed to enjoy the holidays in a way that feels right for our family, not everybody else. And these are just different ways that we can create meaningful reminders that keep you strong, capable, and worthy just as you are during the holidays. So now that we've looked at affirmations, um, we can look at a way to weave them into your daily routine, especially during the holiday season, which is really hard for us. One way to start is by finding moments in your day to repeat the affirmations, like when you're holding, when you're doing housework or chores as part of your nighttime routine, making affirmations part of these everyday activities help to build grounding, and affirmations can be especially helpful when you are stressed and fatigued and overwhelmed during the holidays. And when you start to feel these emotions, you just take that moment to pause, say an affirmation to yourself, do some deep breathing as Sarah was doing. Um, and that small bit of time you take for yourself, that just like flicker of a second, can help rest your mindset and help reset all of your nerves. Um, this is something I have not tried myself specifically, but it is tapping. You apply pressure to 9 different meridian points by your with your fingertips tapping. And the tapping allows you to access your body's energy, send signals to the part of the brain that controls stress. And tapping can reduce stress of negative emotions and you feel balanced and restored. And when you guys get these slides, they're all listed right there on the side, the different areas where you can tap. Journaling is another one. And journaling doesn't have to be the same thing that we think it is. Journaling can be like, I want to draw pictures, or I was telling Sarah, I was like, I wanted to draw with my glitter pen the other day, before this. And it really kind of like helps soothe and relax you. It can be writing, drawing, speaking, writing, any other form of expression is absolutely fine. The whole point is to gain control of your emotions and just improve your mental health.
And then you can use sensory aids to manage stress. So using your sight, like watching videos of nature, landscape, or animals, looking at pictures from vacations or other pleasant events you have experienced, um, intentionally picturing a place that brings you joy. You can use your hearing, so create and listen to a playlist of your favorite songs, listen to nature sounds like waves, waterfalls, listen to your favorite soundtrack from your favorite movie, listen to everyday sounds such as like whistling, door closing, listen to comedy or just the sound of laughter. And then to include touch, you can do weighted blankets, stuffed animals, keychains, favorite textile, and fidget toys. Um, you can do incorporate smell, favorite smells from every day, whether it's meals, lotion, soap. You can use aromatherapy, practice using essential oils for therapeutic benefits.
And we kind of do some of that, like, during the holidays. I don't know about you guys, but I light candles, like, everywhere. Like, candles are everywhere. We're a constant fire hazard, but I love the smell of, like, some of the different ones that come out, especially, like, the cinnamon and pine kinda stuff. That's me, and it gets me in a more relaxed mode during the holiday. Is this is mine, right?
Yeah, sorry.
So, when we look at sensory aids, we're kind of thinking like taste isn't the only taste isn't the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about sensory aids. But it can be an effective way to bring comfort and grounding during the holidays to both you and your child. Holidays are full of similar and soothing flavors, like I mentioned, cinnamon, peppermint, ginger, warm spices. All of those can help create a calm and actually spark happy memories, because the taste and smell are also linked to memory. Just put that in your hat for now. Um, it's a chance to slow down, breathe, and enjoy the peaceful pause in the midst of all that holiday activity. Taste is also really helpful aid for children. especially if they have like their favorite textures to accompany it. Integrating these snacks into like meals or gatherings can provide them a sense of comfort and familiarity, especially if they're feeling a bit overwhelmed by new settings or different routines. Taste is also like a good it's a simple sensory tool, but it's something that like we actually use, we just may not be aware that we're using it. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things make a pretty big difference.
So, another way to manage stress is meditating. It means you're being in the present moment. You're practicing bringing attention to your breath. And then if you notice your mind wandering, bring it back to your breath and treating your wandering with kindness. So find a place to sit that feels calm and quiet. You can choose a short time to begin, such as 5 or 10 minutes. It's helpful to set a timer. Notice how your body's feeling. Feel your breath as it goes in and out. Notice if your mind's wandering and just simply turn your attention to your breath. Again, be kind to your wandering mind. When you're completed, take notice to any sounds in the environment. Notice how your body feels. Notice your thoughts and emotions. A great tool is also guided meditations, which we have at the end.
And I like using those. I prefer to use those because my mind does wander a lot. So even apps like Headspace were really helpful when I started meditating.
And this is just a friendly reminder that your child's needs this holiday season may look different than what other family members, and just remove the expectation that your child have to be perfect and get comfortable setting boundaries with loved ones when your child may need to take a break, leave situation, or eat different foods than the rest of the group. So be comfortable with that. Your family might look different than other families during the holidays, and that's okay. There's not one right way to celebrate the holidays.
And sometimes it feels good to like just have to take your child away into a quiet room because you also need that and didn't realize that happened, just in case that happens.
Here's some resources for deep breathing exercises. Here's some affirmations, um, printable cards, affirmations to tell yourself daily, affirmations for parents. Here shows you how to do tapping. Their journal prompts, different centuries like fidget toys for adults, relaxing films, essential oils. Meditating, here's some guided meditations and just some ideas of other resources for self-care, like creating a self-care menu.
And you can teach your kid how to meditate too. We did that early on when my kids were like 7 years old. And it was super helpful because when we got into different situations where there was nothing really available, meditation was always available. So just in case anybody has kids who are a little bit older.
So this is our program manager shoe. If you want to get connected with us for peer-to-peer support, you want information about other events, like support group or trainings, feel free to email her or call her. Also, if you go to Visions for Quality's website, under programs, you can find the Philadelphia Family Support Projects. But thank you for joining us today.